All right, everybody, welcome to today's class, which we are talking about templated branded images. So yesterday you learned on Canva how to create your own images that look like you are a graphic designer, even though you're not. As you may have found while you guys played around with it, there's a little bit of learning to it, but once you really figure it out, you're going to love the program. And now I want to show you how to take the skills that you learned in Canva and help brand your business in a powerful way. And I'll show you that with some examples of brands that are doing it right. Now, well, actually, before we get started in this training, I want to just give you guys a props to those of you who did your homework and you put an offer out on the page. I think there was only a handful of you, maybe about 6 of you or so. And you guys, here's the thing is you have an opportunity right now to put stuff out there for people. And it's a lot of times when you're in groups and stuff, you're not supposed to post promo things. Like they even have rules against it, a lot of groups. But you guys, I'm telling you specifically, put your offer out there. Let people know what you have. And only about 6 or 7 of you guys did that. So I would strongly encourage you that if you haven't done it yet, this is a free opportunity for you to get exposure and possibly even a new client or a new lead. So take advantage of that while you can. So if you haven't put that out there, there's still time. Go back and do it and put your offer out. Those of you who did that already, awesome job, congratulations, and you will keep getting better as you use the platform. I know some of you said that it was, you like the platform, but you still need to mess with it a little bit to learn it better. That's normal. With anything new, there's a learning curve. All right, so let me jump in to share my screen here. And let me know when you guys can see my screen. Can you guys see my screen now?
No.
Yep.
Yeah, but everybody needs to be muted.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, if everybody can mute themselves, please. Let me see if I can.
Why isn't it using?
John, we can hear you. I don't know if you could hear us, but okay. I'm just going through and muting everybody. I'm on the screen where I can't do it all at once right now, so I'm just making sure that everybody is muted. Okay.
Hello?
Hi. Hi, John. Anybody, yep, John, we can hear you. Can you hear us? Hello?
Okay, I'm gonna sign out.
All right. Marie, do you mind if I make you a co-host again so you can help manage that while I teach? Go ahead. Okay. All right, perfect. So there you go. All right, I've got my screen shared now, and I'm going to just show you guys some examples. Now, clearly you guys have noticed in the group how my branding has been pretty consistent, right? The homework assignments all have this same look. It just changes. Let me move this up here. So actually I'll move it down here. So your homework assignments, they have just the same look here. It just has different writing in here. So I'm using a template. Again, I don't use mine in Canva because, again, I'm a graphic designer, so I use Photoshop. That's what all these PSD files are. But you guys can do the same thing in Canva. The same thing that I use Photoshop for, you can do in Canva very simply. And so all I do is I change out the words on these little areas here. And so what you could do is you could save all of these as, let me find my template. Usually my template's towards the bottom. Let me just choose any one of them then. All right, let me choose Asana. We did Asana already. Some of these you guys haven't seen yet because they're scheduled. But all right, so for instance, if I go into Photoshop, as you see, it's opening up now, and you guys can do the same thing in Canva. But what I would recommend you do for Canva so that you don't have to always change the text, so you don't have to always open and then delete and stuff, what you could do instead is you can, I'm just gonna hide that, I'll hide this, I'll hide this, I'll hide this. All right, so you see, if I saved it just like this, then I could put my own text in there as often as I wanted to. I could save it blank like this.
Not getting anything. It's got to be something with the damn computer.
I don't think John realizes that we could hear him, even though he can't hear us. Okay, so if you save this as a blank canvas like this and you put it into Canva and you just put your text on it, however it makes sense. I use this for a few different things. You guys have seen me put the who are you in here, and there's lots of different ways that I use this. Now, when I come over, for instance, the one that we did yesterday, graphics and images, that's the video that I'm uploading to YouTube today. But this here is also a template. And do you see how the background here is like checkered? It's checkered like that because this is a PNG image, which means it's transparent. And so the transparency of this will make it to where if I put this behind something, you'll be able to see in front of it. You'll be able to see what's in front of it. So like, for instance, when you see on my videos that I put on YouTube and you see this like in front of the image, right? Like the video itself. In fact, let me just pull it up for anybody who maybe has not seen the, because I don't know who might be watching the replay of this, so I should actually show an example. So for instance, if I click on any of these, so if I go to this one, the social media girl is interviewed by Joy, and I'm gonna actually turn the volume off on the video so that it doesn't give like feedback. But if you come part of the way in here, see how this here, I've got, and then I made a top part up here. The part that is right here where we are, that is what is grayed out back here, the checkered spot. So you could put the video right in there, and so you can design it how you want for it to look. You can do that in Canva as well, as long as you save it as a PNG and not a JPEG. Okay, and then same thing with when I do my thumbnails for my video, for my videos, I just keep a similar template and I just change the text that's in here. So if we go back to my YouTube channel, oops. If we go back here, you could see just by looking at the thumbnails, we click on videos, how most of these, a lot of these are exactly the same. They're just some text is changed, like the 21, 19, right? Same thing with this. See my interview with Jean? The look of that thumbnail is very similar to my interview with Joy and Ray and Steph. The blooper one I made a little different for a couple of reasons, because it's not necessarily a Fuse thing. The thing that Isaac and I are working on is something for his law firm. And the color that he's using for that extra thing that we're doing is yellow and blue. So I branded it to that. And so just so you see, and if we actually come down, I showed you guys last time too, these videos, see how the consistency of them, the brand stays consistent. And that matters to people, you guys. That really matters when your brand is consistent. So I want to show you a couple of examples of, now that you've learned how to use Canva, what you can do with it. And I'll show you with some of my clients. And they'll get a little bit of extra exposure then for this. Okay, let's take forage seeds, for instance. I know they have several different template images. So for them, what I've created, I could click on it to open it larger. And then I'll just go through each of the templated images. But each one of these is just a template that we can put text onto and then put it into their Facebook page or their, and again, the one that I'm using right now is a perfect square. It's 600 by 600 pixels is the default standard that I use. This size will work on every single platform except for Pinterest. On Pinterest, you can make it work. It just doesn't really, it cuts off a lot of what you see. So for instance, it's really hard to see that this is a white square right here because it's got stuff on the sides over here. But picture this being the white square and then it having just the forage seeds at the bottom. I could put text up here. I could say things like, it could be a quote I put up there. It could be tips I put up there. It could be an announcement I put up there. It could be an event information, right? Your Zoom information. You could put so many things in these images and keep it branded to yourself. And when you put really valuable things out there, people will share it, and then your branding will be on it. So this next one, all I did was added a little line right there that kind of separates the logo from the image. As I move forward, the next one, I added a line up top. So as you can see, a lot of these are there's not very much change in these, but it gives it a fresh new look while staying consistent with the brand. And then the next one, I added like a little chalkboard look behind it to match with their coloring. And then this one here, this one is one that I used. Remember just this one right here? All I did was put, excuse me. All I did was put a picture there and faded it backwards, and then I put text on top of it. So this picture, which I think it was wheat, or I don't know, I'm not good with farming stuff, but I think it's a picture of wheat back there. But and then I just faded that backwards. I put the transparency on it. I looking at it, it looks like it's about 60% transparent. And then I put the text on top of it, and I put what's called a stroke around the text, so that you see down here, there's white around the text. That's because this would have been really hard to read without the white around it. So this green on that would have been difficult to read. But up here, you don't see the white as much because there's a white background, so it doesn't stand out quite as much. I think that might be the last one for theirs. Okay, so that's an example. Now let me give you another example of this one is a little.
Hey, Barbara, can I ask a question?
Yes.
I didn't watch the Canva yet. How did you get that crisscross background that you could add anything onto it?
So you don't, on Canva, it won't show the crisscross background. It will just be nothing back there.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. So on this one, again, we're looking at a square image here that just has their logo at the bottom. And then as we move forward, again, I was very simple with that. On this one, I added, they're an internet security company. So we added an image there, and this was for COVID-19, the blog post that we created for them for when everything started happening with COVID-19 and everyone had to go work at home and do school at home. We put out a blog post for them that allowed them to say, here's ways that you could protect your family and your employees while everyone's working from home. And this was the image that we used both on WordPress and also on their social media profiles to be able to promote that blog post. And so you could use these in so many different ways, you guys. On this one, I added this little cybercrime fun thing, and then I just put text there just so that they can see, like, this is something we could use for some tips. And that was just like filler text, and I can change that easily. On this one back here, because they're an internet security company, all this is like internet stuff, right? Like, and then they're a Christian-based company as well. And so this is something that we also created for them that puts their values together, right? Internet security and safety, as well as their values in being Christians. And so,
Barbara,
yeah.
Dwight has his hand raised when you stop for a minute.
Oh, perfect. Okay, go ahead, Dwight.
I just put it in the text. I was back on the security picture that you showed. You had like it's focused clear in the center, and then RITY is blurry, and the other side is blurry. Did you do that yourself?
I did not. This picture came from Canva, or I mean from Pixabay. So this was a picture from Pixabay, and that is how it was.
Okay. Is there like options to be able to do something like that where, like, I know when I post like scriptures from YouVersion, I can blur the background. So I can take a picture that I have of a friend of mine and his son while he's giving his son an encouraging word, and I can blur that image behind the text of, being, something about being a parent. I did that once, and I really liked how it turned out. But is there a way to blur part of an image through Pixabay or
through Canva? To be honest, I don't know if you could do that on Canva. I know I can do it on Photoshop. I don't know if it's available to do on Canva, but that is a good question. Okay.
I like that effect.
Yeah, I like that effect too. And I could take a look at it to see and give you answers on that, but if I had to guess, I would say probably not on Canva because it's not that advanced, but unless you have the premium version, maybe the premium version allows it. I don't know. I don't know what they offer in that version. Okay, so moving on, this one right here is, it's blurred out, but this was a black image. Also, I got this image off of, oh yeah, I see, yep. So I got this image also off of Pixabay, but on Pixabay, this was like a black background with really bright white, like computer, I don't know what they call these, but it's used a lot with computers and stuff. And so I faded it backwards because I want to be able to put text on top of it, but where you can see that this is computer stuff in the back, right? I think that's the last one for this one. Okay, now I want to jump onto the internet and show you some brands that are doing it really well already. So actually, funny enough, I know we talked about Green Cow today, but Green Cow is one of the ones I wanted to show. Let me, okay, so Green Cow, as you notice, let me pull this out of the way. This is their logo up here, the cow with the green and the white. They have the mugs, and then you could clearly see what their colors are, right? Like you can see their color scheme just from this image. And so as you scroll down through their pictures, even when they put Happy Easter, do you see how they used green and white? Like they're doing this very strategically. Now, every picture they post does not have to be branded to their, specifically branded, but you want to make sure that you are putting branded stuff in here. Right? Like this is just a lemon tree, but it actually does match with their branding. And this is actually inside of Lee's house. His wife had posted that. Somebody painted that picture for them back there. Their Happy New Year. Do you see how they branded this? And right on the bottom left there, there's their logo. One thing they could have done better with that is they could have taken the white out from behind the logo. It may have just been, they may have needed it in order to be able to see that, but they could have put what's called a drop shadow or a stroke on it to make it stand out more, or even beveled it. I don't know if you could do those things in Canva, but I do them in Photoshop. Again, if you look at a lot of these, their colors and see how they did on this one actually. The one right here, I'm going to move my cursor off it so you can see the logo behind it, but see how they took off the white background? And so they did it really good on that one. And then even on here, it's white, but they've got green text. And so they're doing their branding right. They're doing very, very good with their branding. I know Phyllis had designed their, when they were in Hammond, Phyllis did the design for their walls and like the colors, the paint, the portraits that were put up there and everything. And it looked fantastic. I do really miss that place. So, and then even right here, see how even when they put it on a black background, they still kept consistent with their branding. And everything they post, they're making sure that their branding is consistent regularly. So it doesn't have to be 100% of the time. Like you can post things like this that are like this was from their event, right? It doesn't have to necessarily be only branded images. You should definitely post a good variety of things. But when you do post something like this, it should be branded, because then people, if I were to share this, single taken, busy building an empire, right? If I were to share that with my friends, look, their little logos right up on the top. So if you brand this, even in a small way, see how over here they have their logo right in the corner. So even if you're just branding in a very small way, you want to make sure that you stay consistent. Another brand I want to show you is my friend Josh, he also owns a marketing and media company. He focuses mostly on real estate investors. And so, his company, as you can see, this is his logo over here on the left, and then his header image. You can clearly see the color scheme that he's using, right? And as you continue to scroll down, you start noticing all these different color schemes, and see how he consistently too, if you click on one of these images, and it will show a fuller of this is the people that he has in his podcast, I think. Yeah, and so then if you move on to the next one, see how just like mine, it's the same exact thing. The only thing that changes is the picture that's in there and the person's name and their topic. See how consistent this is and how nice and clean it looks? That's my business partner, Marcelino. He did some video with Josh for his real estate business. And so as you continue, these are times when this person, I think his name's Abby. My son loves Abby. He spoke at one of Josh's events before, but this is Josh taking media of this person and then promoting it on his brand to say, hey, this is what I do, right? I take pictures of you at your events. I take videos of you at your events. And so Josh is also doing marketing right. I mean, clearly he's a marketer. That is what he specializes in. But Green Cow, they are not marketing experts, right? And they're doing it right. There are lots of brands out there that are doing marketing right. Actually, let me bring you to an Instagram one to show you another one that is doing it right. And she's a member of Green Cow. And by member, I mean she used to go be like a co-working, she did co-working there. She doesn't like have any kind of ownership in Green Cow or anything like that. But her name's Marisa, and here she is. So she does health coaching and stuff like that too. But as you can see in hers, she's got these like subtle colors, right? Like they feel calm and warming. But as you go through it, her colors are pretty consistent and her images are pretty consistent, right? You go through and you look at it, and she's not a marketer by any means, but she's doing it right. Right. And there's one, I want to see if I can find it. It's been since last summer, I think, but she posted a really nice thing. She and I had talked about it. Yeah, it's right here. So see how it says inspired here. And the next one says reassured, optimistic, alive, all these. Well, whenever she adds another post, this one will come down here. And then this box of 6 squares actually makes a whole image in itself. It's really cool. And that's something she was working on last summer, I think that was. But anyway, so those are some examples of ways that you can use Canva to make your brand consistent. And when you're consistent, it builds credibility. When people feel like they really know you, they trust you more. And they could feel like they know you more when you're consistent. So consistency is key here, you guys. Does anyone have questions that I can answer right now? Let me pull this away. And I want to see you guys' pretty faces. All right, questions. If you have a question, you can unmute yourself and go ahead and ask it. Dwight, did you have one?
It's not a question, but I'm thinking I need to hire someone just to do all of this.
You know, Tracy, you've been telling me that for years, and I've been here the whole time.
Hire Barbara.
So yeah, Tracy's a good friend of mine. She and I, we actually live real close to each other too. But so yeah, Tracy, you definitely could hire somebody to do it, whether it's me or I tell people that even a lot of times people say they can't afford me yet, which is understandable. My rates have increased as my experience has increased, right? But you could hire a high school kid to do this. You could hire a college kid to do this for pretty cheap. And the good news is they're really good with social media, you guys. Like this stuff comes naturally to them. You could hire like a younger person to pay them like $10 an hour to do stuff like this. Super cheap. Now, if you want somebody who not only is good with social media and can make graphics easy, but also understands marketing and business and all that good stuff, you'll pay a little bit higher of a price for me. But if you're interested in that, you could definitely reach out. I don't want to do any kind of sales on this call because that's not the purpose of this call. But if anyone is interested, you could reach out and I'll be happy to share with you what I could offer you. But thank you for that comment, Tracy and Dwight. Because yeah, sometimes you do need somebody to help with this, especially if you're not a marketer, but it doesn't have to cost you a lot of money and it doesn't have to take a lot of your time. And in fact, if you create just 3 to 5 templated images for your brand, you could just keep reusing those over and over and over again. You don't have to have 30 different looks. In fact, you shouldn't have 30 different ones. That'd be confusing. It wouldn't be consistent. So like 3 to 5 would be easy. Up to 10 would probably be the most I would give yourself to have different templated images. I have some that are like, I have a template image for my flyers. I have a different one for my homework assignments that I'm giving you guys, a different one for my thumbnails. But even though they're different templates, they're all very similar, as you guys just saw in there. And also even my invoices, you guys, any of you who've ever worked with me, you even see that my invoices are custom branded as well. And I think there's several of you on the call who have seen that. But everything should be custom branded. And it takes a while to get there. You guys don't expect that by tomorrow everything's going to be custom branded and consistent. It won't happen overnight. It takes time to build it up, but you've got to start somewhere. So what I would recommend, what your homework assignment is, actually I forgot what I wrote for the homework assignment, but it's probably already posted in the Facebook page. I believe it is to come up with 3 to 5 ideas for templated images, create them in Canva, 3 to 5. And just blank. You don't have to put any text on them. Just create the look of it to help it match your brand. And just make the perfect square. Use the Facebook post or the Instagram post on Canva. And then post them in our group and let us see how we like it. If you want to post text in it, just as like filler text to give us an example of what text would look like on it, that would be great. But I'd love to see what you guys come up with, because it does not have to be hard. It really doesn't.
Hey, Barbara.
Yes.
Yesterday there was a question about business cards. I think Dwight was asking about business card stock. If you go to vistaprint.com, Vistaprint will send you free business cards. All you gotta do is pay for the shipping. So you can get like 250 or 500 business cards. I think you can get 500, and then they send you you just pay for the freight. So.
Thank you, Rick.
You can upload your logo. You can create your own thing off of your Canva or whatever you were using yesterday. You can create all that, and then upload that right to Vistaprint. So,
honestly, the only reason I haven't actually gone to Vistaprint already is because I have a friend whose family owns a print shop in Portage, and he keeps telling me to go to him for business cards, and I should just pull the trigger and do it online so it's done and I've actually got something. Because I got people walking by the job and they're like, hey, it looks great. And I'm like, man, if only I had a business card, I'd be like, here.
Yeah.
Can I disagree with Dwight? No, don't just go online. The only reason some of us are surviving is doing business with local businesses and with each other. If you know somebody who does it, please do business with them.
Yeah, because
and
one of the
before I fall off my soapbox.
Yeah, but the thing is I've been meaning to go to him for business cards for 3 years now. 3 years I've known him, and I've been meaning to go have business cards made, and I just don't do it.
What is stopped you?
Why don't you just email your image to him? You don't have to go anywhere.
Well, what I'm thinking, you guys, is Dwight, if it's a print shop, he probably is willing to design it for you. Like we do business cards and we design the business cards for our clients. That's part of the price. You only can order in bulk with us. Like you can't order just 100. So if you're looking for a small amount, definitely do one of these other cheaper options. But yeah, if your friend has a print shop, they probably designed the cards for you. That's something you should ask, which means that it could have already been done 3 years ago, Dwight.
Hi, Dwight.
Yeah. Do it right, Dwight.
No, I used to.
Signage on your truck?
What's that, Michelle?
Do you have signage on your truck? You have like.
No, I had a minivan that I've been working out of, and I actually drove that over the scrapyard before I went to California. It was a reasonable van, but I didn't want anything. I didn't think it would start when I got back. Honestly, I figured if it sat for 3 months through the winter in Northwest Indiana, that it would be too much maintenance to get it back on the road when I got back. So I left and decided that I would come back without a vehicle with the money saved up to buy a vehicle. Well, with COVID-19, that didn't actually happen. The job didn't get finished. So I'm still waiting on some of the money from that. And so I'm shopping for a vehicle. I was supposed to get a $2,000 Suburban when I got back, and that has now fallen through. So now I'm looking for a vehicle, and then I will have something magnet printed for the side, because I don't want it to actually peek out on the vehicle. I want the magnet.
I was going to suggest even just a magnet for whatever you're driving.
Yeah.
Set that on there so anybody driving by can see.
Yeah.
Or if you have those yard signs made up. Barb's brother does that, right?
Yeah.
He makes yard signs.
Yeah, he
Then
sure
you put
does.
them in the yards of wherever you're working so that the neighbors can see, oh, cool, and get get your, because that's
Yeah.
when, like I know for our neighborhood, that's what we all, look to see who's doing what in the neighborhood and
Yeah,
I
and
met-
so
what contractors are having out.
when you're working on a job, then Dwight, like Michelle was saying, you just have your yard sign out there with your information. So as people walk by and they're like, hey, looks good, you're like, oh yeah, here's the info. You point to your sign there. And then
Right.
even,
So you don't have to stop and give a card, it's just there for.
yeah,
Well, I need to make sure that I get all the things done with Isaac first, because I've got steps that I've got to take to make sure that I'm all
Legal.
legitimate.
yeah,
Before I go advertising myself, I need to make sure that I've got a couple more things in order. And so that's
For
why
sure.
business cards are the way to go for right now, because then
Yeah.
I still have a contact and I can make a rapport with a person once they speak to me. But
right.
I do like the idea of a advertisement on my vehicle.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Michelle, as well. And Dwight, there's a right time and place for everything. Again, it's not all going to happen overnight. So yeah, making sure that you make a plan and be strategic about the order of things that are important and making sure that you stick with that. All right, anybody else have questions, comments, feedback, other cool tips they want to share with anybody? No? This was one of our quick calls. All right, so who's excited about making their images? Couple people? All right. Marie, you're always like, I'm not excited about it, but then you're the one who like does it the first and like you do a whole bunch. You're going to be just fine. Knock that off.
Marie always wins.
She does a great job too. She's always nervous and then she does fantastic.
I don't always win. I don't know.
Trello 2 days ago,
Huh?
when we did the Trello 2 days ago, couple days ago, and I gone to create an account and I already had one. And it was like, oh, I used to do this like 5 years ago and I forgot all about it. It had old projects in it and I don't know why I stopped.
Oh, all right then. Well, keep going. Get started
Yeah.
again, Phyllis. And you guys, I want to tell you, I know it's been a while since Phyllis just said about winning. I know it's been a while since we had a contest. We have I think we have 3 more contests still. I know we only got about a week left, but there's more contests towards the end. So you guys still can win stuff. If anybody's like, man, I didn't win anything, you still can win. And again, it's not one of those things. I don't do the whole everybody gets a trophy kind of thing. And I also don't do the thing that once you got a trophy, you don't qualify for another one. It's just not the case, you guys. It's game for everybody. You're all in on this. So, so be excited, be prepared. Tomorrow we're talking about, that's not right. Memes. Did we do memes yet or no? We didn't do memes yet. It says memes on the calendar tomorrow. Perfect. So for some reason, I must have dreamt that we did memes because I felt like we did. All right, tomorrow we're going to do memes. I'm going to show you how to find memes, how to create your own memes, how to use memes. It's going to be a whole memeing fest. I just
I
made
want
that
to
word
be
up.
as famous as Lori Lightfoot.
You're going to be what?
I want to be as famous as Lori Lightfoot.
I don't
The
know who
mayor-
Lori Lightfoot is.
Me neither.
Oh my, she's the mayor of Chicago.
Oh, well.
It reminds me of the nuns I had in 7th grade.
All
I wouldn't
right.
mess with her.
Well,
We can't hear you, Phyllis.
Oh, okay. Am I muted?
no, we
No.
hear you
It
now.
just sounded like you were very faint.
Oh. Okay,
Okay.
sorry.
So you guys are already doing fantastic. I know I've told you this before in the past, but the fact that you guys are even showing up already puts you a couple steps ahead of everybody else because you're making this attempt. And those of you who are actually doing the homework are even more steps ahead of everybody else. So continue to show up, continue to do the homework. If it's not something that makes sense for you, that's okay. We don't hold that against you, but at least make an attempt at something. To try each thing. Try each thing at least once. Even if you decide this is not for me, at least give it a shot, okay? All right, guys, I will see you guys tomorrow. Remember, we do meet tomorrow on Saturday, but we do not meet on Sunday. So I'll see you guys tomorrow for memes.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
See ya.